The Odyssey, Christopher Nolan's 3-hour-long film about Matt Damon trying to get home from the Trojan War. His son, Spider-Man, does things, and the Queen sits around. It's gone from the Princess Diaries to the Queen Diaries. There's been a lot of controversy surrounding the release of this movie. From casting a black woman to play a Greek woman, to casting a tranny to play a Greek warrior. From making the decision to have modern dialogue to Zendaya. This film has been the talk of the town for months now. Anyway, I watched it. There were some good things, and a lot of bad things. Let's look closer. The good. Credit where credit is due. Christopher Nolan is a good director. The film looked incredible from a filmmaking standpoint. Yeah, some of the costumes looked weird in parts, and there were some random sequences, like this one, which just happened and then was over. But overall, it was expertly directed. There was also quite a bit of payoff in the final 30 minutes of the movie. A few scenes towards the end really landed well, and to be fair, most of the acting was good. Spider-Man was good, Princess Diaries was good, and Matt Damon was awesome as Odysseus. While I was watching this movie, I had an open mind, and by the end, I kinda liked it. But then I walked out of the theater, and started thinking more about it. The more I thought about it, the less I liked it. Here's why. The bad. Let's start with the music. Ludwig Göransson, the composer, was trying something different, trying to be creative. But it was bad. It was really bad. The music sounded like a 1950s Italian-made sword and sandal soundtrack. The authentic Bronze Age instruments sounded horrible. Then the sound mix was really weird. Some portions of the movie were really overblown, and then other parts were almost lacking sound completely. Not to mention the whisper delivery of the dialogue from the actors. Speaking of dialogue, the modern dialogue didn't work. There were parts that were fine. Then they would say something and it would completely take me out of the movie while I processed what had just been said. A great example of this is the dreaded daddy line.
You're pining for a daddy you didn't even know.
I believe that the decision to not have theatrical dialogue harmed the Odyssey more than it helped it for 2 reasons. First, it didn't give the actors anything special to work with. As an example,
My dad is coming home.
now, replace the word dad with father. It would completely change the delivery and let Spidey have another syllable to work with. Secondly, I can't remember a single piece of dialogue from that entire movie. There is no quotability from an everyday vocabulary. Many of the lines we remember from our favorite movies are memorable because it is something only that character would say, in a way only that character would say it. For example,
Why so serious?
or,
Guns. Lots of guns.
or.
Wow.
We quote these words for one of 2 reasons: how they are said, or because they are an interesting combination of words. When Nolan made the decision to make everyone in his movie sound like they just stepped out of their house and started talking, he doomed his dialogue to forgettability. Last thing about the dialogue. There were 2 random male hatred speeches, one talking about how men are pigs, literally, on the island of Circe, if you know what that is, and how they're animals and they should be ashamed of themselves and cause all of the world's problems, blah, blah, blah. You've heard it 1,000 times before. The other random speech was Anne Hathaway angrily telling Peter Parker that she can't rule because she is a woman, and that even though he is just a boy, he will rule, even though she should rule, but she can't because she's a... You know, the basic modern feminist rant that has no point and gives 0 solutions. Now, what about the casting? For all of the controversy and the big talk from Lupita Nyong'o,
I'd be like, so Homer, how do you feel about the screen time given to these women, considering how little you spent with them? Okay.
she was in maybe 3 minutes of screen time. She had about 7 lines of dialogue, somewhere in there. So she was a tertiary character at best. Also, Homer was a blind old man, so he couldn't have watched the movie with you, Lupita. And you're being mean to a dead, disabled man, which makes it somehow worse now that I say it.
Okay.
John Leguizamo was horrible. He can't act well at all. His delivery would go from completely flat to blasting at full volume, cheesy, over the top. I'm not trying to be mean here, but maybe the reason he can't get hired for any Latino roles is because he can't act. So he decided to take a Greek role. Speaking of taking roles away from people, now we come to Elliot Page. Her acting was amateurish. She was so busy trying to do her tranny voice to sound like a guy that she couldn't then handle the actual acting required to play the character of Simeon. It was like a chick pretending to be a guy playing another guy. Wait.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
Also, the character Elliot Page plays is in maybe less screen time than Lupita. It was funny, though. Throughout the movie, they keep referring to the character as a great man very frequently. I fought alongside a great man. Simeon was a good man. He was definitely a man. I fought alongside him, and he was such a good man. You get the point. It was comically overstressed. Oh, and Zendaya was in there. Because, of course, she was. She's like the female Pedro Pascal, not in the creepy, groping way, but in the same way as he is in everything. I just would like a break from her. I don't want her to go away forever, but just a little time apart might help us heal. Also, Nolan does explain why Zendaya is Athena. It works. I was fine with it when I saw it. Did I mention it was 3 hours long? The first hour is just set up to give payoff to the last 30 minutes. It was painfully drawn out in parts. It was very artsy, more so than Nolan's other movies, definitely. My final thoughts. On the chart, I put it here. It was an art fart from Christopher Nolan. Cinematic, but an art fart nonetheless. Preachy in parts, overly long, and with random acts of propaganda serving no other reason, it would appear, than to serve the woke overlords of Hollywood. None of the controversy was needed. It didn't add to the film, it only took away. Why not cast a beautiful Greek woman to play Helen of Troy? She's only in a few minutes of the film. Why not just cast a man as Simeon? That character is only in a few minutes of the film. Why not have theatrical dialogue? It would have elevated the film and the acting. As it is, those 3 decisions will harm the film's success, in my opinion. This movie could have been a classic. And who knows? Maybe I'm wrong and it will make $1 billion. I don't think so, though. I think it will break even and most likely turn a profit because it's, Christopher Nolan. But I don't believe that it will hit the coveted million spelled with a B. Let me know in the comments what you think, though. As always, be excellent, my friend.
Matt David!